Cool.
We can do it.
All right.
Do we need to pray first?
Yeah. All right. Are we ready?
Yep.
Okay. Welcome to session 2 of the Chopping Block. I'm here with Dave Geldart.
Hi.
I'm Ben Deaver. We're on staff with Tallgrass Church here in Manhattan, Kansas. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah.
So, the chopping block is where all the tasty morsels that don't quite make it into the entree are left. And so our chopping block is all the stuff that didn't make it into our sermon but are still worthwhile to chew on. So we want to make that available to you all. Hopefully it can be helpful for some. So today we're talking about WOTY. Dave, what's a WOTY?
Word of the year.
Word of the year. So what is a word of the year?
What a great question. Well, a word of the year, as we're using it, it's almost like a tool. It's a spiritual growth tool, almost like a spiritual discipline. So it's different from like a New Year's resolution or something like that. But it's something you want to grow in, a spiritual characteristic you want to grow in that year. Something you want to participate with God's work in your life in.
Yeah, that's great. So how do you choose a WOTY?
That's a good question. Well, I was going to say one of the best ways I've found is to ask my wife.
Absolutely. So, the first year I decided to choose a WOTY, 2011, I thought, I want to grow in discipline. I looked at Maris, my wife, and I said, I think my word is discipline. She looked at me and almost without skipping a beat said, how about sensitivity? And more than you know, that was right back in 2011. And, I'm continuing to try to grow in that word ever since.
But yeah, it was the right call.
Yeah. So talking to a spouse, maybe talking to a trusted friend, someone in your life group, even your kids. Ask your kids how they think you might need to grow, and they'd have some good ideas for you.
Yeah.
You may want to pay attention if someone says a word that causes you to tighten up a bit or stings a little. Chances are maybe that is the area God wants you to grow in.
That's very true.
So
lean in if that happens. Yeah. Don't shy away.
And no pressure to choose the word of the year by January 1. I know we're almost to the end of January. So we often don't settle into our word of the year until mid-February, maybe even by March. So we get plenty of time and space to hear from God, hear from others, and so we can focus in on that word for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Let's see. How do you begin to grow in your WOTY? That's a great question. Online, tallgrass.church, if you click on resources and slide down, you'll see Word of the Year resources. On there, we have a worksheet that you can work through. What else do we have on that under that resource tab?
We've got some links to a few other talks that we've given in the past at our previous church, at New Hope Church, about Word of the Year and this concept and thinking through it. So those can be helpful if you're wanting to think through a little bit more. There's also a way to submit your Word of the Year once you come up with it and share it with us. And then there's a way to view what the word of the year and some of the explanations and some of the rationales, what the word of the years that other people have submitted are, so that we can know, encourage each other, pray for one another. Yeah. So all of that's on the website. Yeah,
and we encourage you to have fun with this. Some of the words people have chosen have been a lot of fun, but there's also the serious side to it.
That's right.
If you put a word to this word, God may really have something in store for you this year. So
yeah, that's right.
And we do want to hold each other accountable and cheer one another on. As you have time, take a look at that worksheet, work through it. Questions like, what's your growth word? What's a helpful Bible verse or passage? This can help shape even your approach to the scriptures for the year. Help guide your time into scripture memory, meditation. You had shared about one of your words maybe last year, peace.
Yeah.
No, a couple of years ago.
Yeah, it was a few years ago, peace. And so that year I decided I was going to memorize Psalm 23, which is a lot about peace. And I'd never memorized it before, and it's been very useful for me, not just that year, but ever since as anxiety creeps in, to have that really accessible in my mind. Scripture memory hasn't necessarily been a strength of mine through the years, and I've already seen the benefit of it. So it's been very helpful.
That's great. And then there's these different growth areas: knowledge, character, skills, vision. I wanted to comment briefly on under knowledge. There may be a good resource or a book or something that you will also, in addition to that scripture passage, you want to read that year. And so
Yeah,
I think you had
connected to your word.
Connected to your word. So I think this year you have
So mine this year is courage, and you can read more about that on our list online. But for me, courage led me to go ahead and read a book that I'd wanted to read for a number of years by Eric Metaxas called Bonhoeffer. It's about a German pastor who took many courageous steps during World War II. It was I'm actually just getting done with it, and it's been very helpful for me as to kind of spark different thoughts about courage in my heart. So it doesn't have to just be scripture. You can use lots of things that can be helpful to you.
Yeah, and then once you submit your word online, and we can all see each other's words, and if you have ideas to offer others, that could be very helpful.
That's right.
So we want to open ourselves up to each other in that way. And also, so this worksheet, maybe it's a good starting place, but maybe you have a journal or something that you can take these questions and transfer to. So I've been working on mine in my new little bullet journal for all you bullet journalers out there. So I haven't even, not even going to use a worksheet, but it's a good starting place for you. Uh-oh.
That's right. Notes are on the ground. We'll see how the rest of this time goes. So the worksheet is a tool for you. So don't worry, don't worry if you can't fill out every blank. That's fine. It's just a tool.
Yeah, and I promise you won't fully grow to perfection in this growth word this year, and that's okay. So we're looking for incremental growth. If you look at your life day by day, week by week, chances are you're not going to see a lot of growth. But if you begin to look at month to month and year to year, just like when you look at a tree or another plant, you're going to see growth, and that's awesome. That's right. We can celebrate that with each other. Yeah,
that's right. That's why it's word of the year, not of the month or the week.
Yeah.
So this is also meant to be encouraging. A lot of these things, if you don't focus on something, you'll definitely never know to look for it. And if you don't have the correct time perspective, you can just stay discouraged oftentimes. But these can be very encouraging.
Yep.
To see God do stuff.
Did you want to throw a BHAG in there?
Oh yeah. So BHAG, this is kind of extra credit, not with God necessarily.
Correct.
But extra credit, if you want, if you tend to be someone who likes to sink your teeth into something specific, you tend to be goal or action oriented, a big, hairy, audacious, God-sized goal might be helpful to you to think along with your WOTY, or think about along with your WOTY. This could be anything, but it has to be something that God would have to show up to do. There needs to probably be some things that you can do to help the goal come about, but it's God-sized, so if it happens, God has shown up, and it can be encouraging to you.
Yeah. Yeah, well, thanks so much for tuning in to this second session of the Chopping Block. Are there topics you'd like to hear us attempt to cover? Well, let us know. We'd love to consider that. So we're posting these videos on our website, tallgrass.church. You can find more resources there, all of our teachings, information about when and where we meet. We're posting on our Facebook page, Tallgrass Church, as well. Find and follow us, as well as our YouTube channel. I haven't checked for a while, but I think we got 3 subscribers.
It's pretty new.
You could be the 4th or the 5th. Today's music is provided by DJ Kate Corinne. Wanted to give a shout out to her.
I love it.
And we hope you have a great time with your word of the year.
That's right. And submit it. Submit it online. Let us know what they are.
End with the shofar blast signifying the year of the Lord's favor.
Watch Sunday's sermon. If you missed it, it'll make a little bit more sense. That may be a perfect way to end.